In this quick video, I'm going to walk through a couple different ways that you can share files in Google Drive. I'm starting here with a Google Doc that I've created that at this time I'm the only person who has access. If I'd like to work on this with other colleagues, for example, I can use this little share button while I'm working within the file itself in the upper right corner of the screen. You'll see this share button in Google Slides and Google Sheets as well. If I go ahead and click share, what's going to pop up is a window where I can enter the email address of those who I need to share this document with. So it might be a colleague, it might be someone outside of my organization if external sharing is permitted, someone that has a Google account I can add by email here. So I'm going to share with my colleague Dan. And if I move right over here to this little pencil drop down, this is where I can actually choose Dan's level of access. So if I allow Dan to edit, that means he can add, he can delete, he can make changes to the document just like me. He can also share the document with other people as an editor. Comment access allows Dan to comment, and if I go back then as the owner of the document, I can read the comments he's added in. Or view access, which allows him to just preview. Right below, I can add a note here if I want to give context to why I'm sharing this file with Dan. And right over here in the lower right corner, I just want to point out a little tip here under the advanced settings. Because I'm adding Dan as an editor, I have the ability as the owner to prevent editors from changing access and adding new people. This may not be a setting that you use often, but sometimes there may be files that you don't want others to share further, even though they're editors. So if I check this box, that means that only Dan and I will be able to access this file unless I share it with others. If I were to give Dan comment or view access, I also have an additional setting here where I can disable options to download, print, and copy for anyone who's a commenter or viewer. I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes here and click Send. So now Dan is going to receive an email with a link to this document so he can jump in and start working on it with me. So that's how you share while you're actually in the document itself. If I were working within Google Drive here, I also have the ability to right-click on a file or a folder and choose Share. The same sharing window is going to pop up where I can enter in the email addresses of those who I need to share the file or folder with and choose their level of access. Keep in mind, when you share a folder, whatever you're adding in that folder will take on the sharing permissions of the folder itself. So if I share this folder with Dan, for example, Dan now has access to everything that's in that folder. There's one other way that you can share documents in Google Drive, and that's by using a link. So if I go ahead and click Share again in this upper right corner, I can click Get a Shareable Link here and open up link sharing. You can see here that the default setting is that anyone in my domain with the link can view. Now if I copy this link and paste it in an email to many people, for example, everyone who has the link will be able to view the document. I can adjust this, however, by clicking right on anyone with the link can view. I could turn off link sharing entirely if I need to, or if I go to More, and if this is permitted within my G Suite instance, I can share this link externally as well. The reason I may want to choose anyone with the link can view or can edit or can comment is that I may be needing to share this with someone who does not have a Google account. You can see that this says anyone with the link can access, no sign-in required. So if you have the ability to share externally from Google Drive within your organization and you need to share something from Drive with someone who doesn't have a Google account, opening up link sharing here is the best way for them to see that file. Now, if you don't have permissions to share externally, you can always download files from Google Drive and attach them to an email for the external party. So now if I go ahead and click Save here, I'll be taken back to the Share window where I can copy this link, paste it into an email or a chat or wherever I need to paste it so that people can have access to the document. So now I've shared this both with a specific person via email and with link sharing. If I ever need to go back and adjust those permissions, it's just as easy as setting up sharing. I'm going to go back to the Share button. I can turn off link sharing, so now it's just Dan and I again who have access. But if I need to remove or change Dan's sharing permissions, I can also go to the Advanced button here, where I can see who has access, and I can make adjustments as needed. If I click this drop down here, I can change Dan's level of access and even make him the owner because I'm an owner of this file. Or I can revoke his access entirely. You see as I hover, this little timer is popping up. Just a quick tip here, you can set an expiration date for sharing. This is especially helpful if someone may be a short-term staff member or a contract worker, and you just want to give them access for a short period of time. Thanks for tuning in. That was our quick review of how to share in Google Drive.